Over the course of a season, it's not uncommon to hear that the snowpack is over 100% of average. And while that might be good for skiers, what does this really mean? It's actually all about water management, especially out in the western US. We're here along the Continental Divide at one of the over 700 SNOTEL stations. These stations are placed remotely in the western US and Alaska at high elevation areas to provide scientists with up-to-the-hour data on snow, water, and weather conditions. You might wonder, if all of these stations are so remote, how do they get the data up to a central area once an hour? The answer is not what you may think. The SNOTEL communication system is based on meteor burst technology. What does that mean? Meteors, when they enter the atmosphere, they burn up around 25 miles up and leave an ionized trail. The radio on top of this tower sends a signal about 25 miles up into the atmosphere, where it bounces off the remains of meteors and down to a ground station where they collect the data. So now that we know how the data transmits back to humans and computers, how is it measured here remotely in the middle of the mountains? This nondescript white area behind me houses a pillow with an antifreeze liquid in it. And when the snow accumulates on top of that pillow, it pushes some of that liquid out. Scientists measure it, and now we know what the snow water equivalent of the snow really is. Now, while all of this automation is great, it's not foolproof, and sometimes there are inconsistencies in the data. When that happens, scientists actually throw on a pair of skis, have to physically come up here, take a core sample, weigh that core sample, and determine by hand what the snow water equivalent really is. And while this might not seem as fun as measuring snow to find your next powder day, this is really the backbone for water management in the western US. So the next time you're hanging out in the backcountry and you come across a hodgepodge of radio towers and this wind chime looking thing, there's a good chance that it's a SNOTEL site. For OnTheSnow.com, I'm meteorologist Joel Gratz.